What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. I am Jay. This is Jay's Life Out Loud, a channel about nothing, but it's about something. I was just thinking, I jumped in the car, I'm leaving work. I work in a factory that supplies the big three. And up here in Michigan, big three are considered the big car automotive companies: GM, Ford, such and such. So with that said, we have to do whatever hours they do, whatever numbers they do, we have to keep up with them. To me, the pay is decent. It's a job that can be strenuous. Yeah, y'all know what I'm saying. Strenuous on the body. But after being there for so long, I'm going on 14 years there. I think after the first 2 years, or even after the first 8 or 9 months, the pains that you get from pushing and pulling on material and doing all this type of stuff, you get paid every Friday. And every Friday, in a sort of way, that pain is washed away by a paycheck. You deal with a lot of upper management that play this mental game as if we employees are the enemy and they are the saviors, and that we have to be beefed out. We gotta be against each other. I met one plant manager in the whole time that I've been in the automotive industry. He was the first one that I ever heard say that, y'all don't work for me, I work for y'all. And what he meant was, if y'all don't do a good job, if y'all don't keep up quality, we're gonna lose the contract. If you guys are not productive, I'm gonna look bad. So really, I do work for you guys, making sure that you have all the right tools, all the right representation, when, you know, when it comes to getting more contracts and so and so, whatever. But most management, they don't think like that. You can take one manager and 16 or 60 employees, and they will believe that them as that one individual is what keeps that place going, which is crazy to me, to think that you're the reason. So with that said, to me, it becomes the new age cotton field. Same pains in your fingers, feet, and I couldn't even, there back then was even worse. You didn't have gloves. They didn't give you gloves and safety glasses and things like that. And you didn't have a union. But I will say this, and the reason why I got on this topic is because you need to really tell your children about working smarter, not harder. And what I mean by that is, I'm not saying that college will change things, but what I'm saying is, whatever job that they have, a lot of times we can teach our kids that, and I know this shade is getting me, we can teach our children the flashy life, keeping up with the Joneses. We wear the name brand. You know, we got some grown white man's family name on our clothing, whether it's Nike, Prada, Gucci, Louis Vuitton. We teach our kids, most of us, to be not the supplier, but the buyer. To always be on the purchasing end instead of the selling end. not only do we teach our children that, we also, where we go wrong is we don't teach our children the value of a dollar. We don't teach them credit. We don't teach them what's the APR, you know, and then they go into a car dealership and buy a $24,000 car and end up paying $40,000 for it with the interest. And I know you can't control your kids. Once they grown, they grown. But if you teach them, I think if you teach them this one law, and the one law is live beneath your means. And if you don't even live beneath your means, live near it. Because if you don't teach them that you have to keep a hold on to what you bring in. Don't let what you spending outweigh what you bringing in. And I think that's how we end up with certain generational curses that will leave the next generation broke. And I know these kids, they got a mind of their own. They're going to do whatever the hell they want to do. But at the same time, if you give them the information and they don't listen, at least you told them. You know, if you bringing in, let's say you're bringing in $50,000 a year, and the first car you go get is a Land Rover, and your car note is $1,200 a month, it makes no sense. You're living above your means. You're spending more on a car note and car insurance than you are on living. It doesn't even give you space to save with your car note, your rent, insurance, this is that. And we need to teach our kids that being flashy is not all that it's cracked up to be. I watch parents have a 1-year-old, a baby, and the baby's shoes will be like $200 pair of shoes. And these $200 pair of shoes continue on. You got a $75 pair of shoes on a baby that can't even walk. Or you going to spend $250 on a Louis Vuitton outfit for a baby. You bring in this baby up in the world that we already got enough of against us. And then you're going to send them out here with this mind state that the things that you purchase make you who you are. And that's not true. Not only do that, the things that you purchase, those are the things that you are a slave to. I got a car. When I first got the car, it was $30,000 and something. So I'm down to like $6,800, I think, 58 or 68 left to pay on it. I'm not getting another car note until the wheels fall off. At 48, I've had enough cars with rims on it, sounds in it, TVs through it. I've rode around and I showed off and done the do. I stayed in California for a year. When I was out there, I had a car that was here was a Jaguar. I had a car out there bought out there was a 1994 Tahoe. So when I got to Tahoe, what I do? I went and got rims put on it. After I went and got the rims put on it, you know what? I didn't put rims on that car. I put sounds in it. Brand new radio, brand new amps, brand new speakers. Went out and I bought Jordans and this and that, and I got fresh to death. And then at the end of the day, I had to realize there was nobody in California that I knew besides my ex-in-laws. And my ex-in-laws weren't those type of people that could care about some sounds or whatever. But I'm banging around with my brand new Jordans on, brand new outfits on, brand new fit on. And I decide I'm going to, wash the truck up, go out, riding around. And I realized I had nobody to show off to because I didn't know anybody. The people that saw me in the area I was in, most of them didn't give a damn. So when you really think about it, how much do we do for other people's praise versus how much we do for our own enjoyment? Because a lot of times that car that you have, after the first year, maybe the first 2 years of a 6-year purchase agreement, you already want something new. You've already seen something new. But you put yourself in a position where you might not even be able to do that because of this car note. You want to go on vacation and you're trying to make ends meet. Here come this car note. You want to move to a better apartment or buy a house or move to a better house or rent a better house. Here's this car note. There are some people that have 30, 40 pair of Jordans at 200 to 250 a wop and don't have a pot to piss in. Have never been outside their neighborhood. They have never seen what the world has to offer. But they're cool with showing off in front of the people that give no fuck about them. So you can walk around with these Jordans where you can't be in the, you can't even, you got to do the Jordan walk. Those that, are melanated color, you already know that Jordan walk. And I'm not saying don't go buy nothing nice. But what I'm saying is we have to teach the next generation on a better way to move to secure a better future. And then with them moving better, they'll teach their kids better. And I hear this generational wealth. Well, if somebody that never had wealth, they can't teach, most of them can't teach nobody about getting wealth. Because even now, with me being just on Facebook, I look around and I'm like, well, I don't see a lot of people on Facebook sharing financial information. I don't see a lot of people on my Facebook talking about the next big company that's coming up or a savings program. And I'm not to say that nobody on there is doing none of that, but people don't talk about it. But we have to talk to our children about it so they can be in a better situation. To me, it was like, to me now, at the age I am, 48, I would rather have a decent car where I can get the A to B. Maybe, you might want to travel 8 hours out or 12 hours out and be able to do that without having a $1,200 car note, a $700 car note. Don't get me wrong, sometimes we have to. We are put in certain situations, or we have certain situations you have to deal with. But at the same token, a lot of us are slaves to the things that we own. And what's more important, to look good in front of people or to have your freedom? You may want to leave a job and you done bought a house that was out your price range, but they approved you for it. But now you can't leave that job because you can't afford to leave. Where right before you had the house, you could have left and went to a different job, made a little less to be able to go, wait to go up, move up higher. We have to teach our children, don't feel like every Friday you got to treat yourself. Don't feel like, we have to teach them that, okay, just like it feels good to go blow $200 or cop a $250 pair of J's or a $300 pair of pants. We have to teach them that's the same way about saving. Treat saving the same way. Like, bro, I just stacked, I put $300 in the bank. Bro, I saved $1,000 in the bank over the last 2 months. We have to get them excited about saving and making strong financial choices, just like we do with balling. And a lot of times, us as melanated people, we do things, everything that's not right for us, we glorify it. We endorse it. We love it. But the things that are for us that we need to do, we shun that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to see that. But what ends up happening if we don't teach our kids how to save, make better financial decisions. Don't think about just this Friday. Don't think about just next Friday. Think about 2 months down the line, a year down the line, year and a half down the line. Where do you see yourself? Where are you trying to get to? And what are you doing to get there? Because believe me, and a lot of you that's watching this, you know this shit is crazy out here. It's almost like we'll go in circles getting the same result, and we know what they say about that. That's insanity. Doing the same thing day in and day out, expecting a different result. I know I'm looking like I'm in the shadows, y'all. But I've heard a couple of interviews done with black millionaires, and I keep hearing this thing over and over again that by the year 2050, they are predicting that black people will be broke. And in my mind, I'm like, how can you say that? That means white people gonna be broke, because there's a lot of them that's just right there with us, that's doing the same thing. But if we have a certain amount of spending power, and none of our money stays in our own neighborhoods, they say that the black dollar circulates in their own neighborhood just one time. Where you have other neighborhoods that it circles several times before it leaves the neighborhood. And to be honest, what we all have to be doing, spending our dollars wisely. You need to be learning how to garden, make your own canned goods, canning your food. Getting back to the basics. I mean, it's not easy out here, man. It's not easy. But everybody wants to be seen. Everybody wants to have the nicest whip. I can go around and drive and I'll see a $250,000 Maybach or a Bentley sitting on the grass at a house that's only $20,000, $35,000. And the house is falling apart. Teach your children to save, invest, put away, manage. If you don't know how to do it, pick up a book, Google it, and start to teach them now that every dollar that we get does not have to be spent. That every penny that we get, we don't have to throw it away. So I know come Friday, we all feel like we deserve to treat ourselves. And the hardest thing is to not let that money burn a hole in your pocket. But it has to be done. I heard somebody say, if you sit down for a year, make your lunch, stop going out to eat, only make purchases when you really need it and it's necessary, not just because you want it, that you could end up putting yourself 2 to 5 years ahead. If you're a struggling parent, do you want your kids to be in the situation that you're in right now? I watch people leave my job, body broke down, back hurting, feet hurting. I can tell y'all right now, I want out, but I can't. I want out, but right now I can't. One day I will. I'm not going to give up on that, but I pray that, my children are able to outdo me. Not in fancy cars and rims and watches and rings and gold chains and all that, but just being financially stable, being able to take trips, being able to see the world, and not stuck at a job and living where you don't want to live, driving what you don't want to drive, but doing the things that will make it so you can drive what you want to drive, go where you want to go, and not break your bank. Where every Friday your account is full or decent, and by Saturday evening, Sunday evening, it's empty. All right, y'all. Love y'all.